Now, I've been warning you about deifying monsters in the Trump era. The most recent example of that is Jeff Flake, who's resigning after the end of his term and not running for re-election. He gave an anti-Trump speech. Now, he voted with Trump 90% of the time. 90%. But now people who are part of the Mick resistance are saying, oh, he's with us. He's on our side now. So this idea of deifying monsters is now leading to the chickens coming home to roost. Because look at this embarrassment. Poll, majority of Democrats have a favorable view of George W. Bush. Majority. Listen, if it was a plurality, that would be bad enough. A majority of Democrats now have a favorable view of George W. Bush. Do you know what George W. Bush's approval rating was when he left office? 22%. That's not 22% among Democrats. It's 22% overall. He had a 22% approval rating. Now, he has a 51% approval rating among Democrats, a 51% approve, 42% disapprove. That's an Economist YouGov poll. Do you know how embarrassing that is? George W. Bush approved torture, opened Guantanamo Bay, got rid of due process and habeas corpus. The Patriot Act ripped up the Constitution. You no longer have a protection from unreasonable search and seizure and a right to privacy. The NSA collects all your metadata all the time. He waged an illegal war against a country that didn't attack us, killed a minimum 200,000 civilians. By the way, that war will cost $7 trillion, the war in Iraq. Add a couple trillion more for Afghanistan. Started the war on terror, still going on today. Thousands of Americans died. Countless people have been injured. By the way, invading Iraq led to the rise of ISIS. There wasn't even Al-Qaeda in Iraq until we went into Iraq. There are more terrorists now than when he started the war on terror. So you have a guy who broke the Middle East, is responsible for the death of at least hundreds of thousands of civilians, did torture, violates the Nuremberg Tribunal and the Geneva Conventions on a daily basis when he was president, crashed the global economy with the subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession. I don't know how Bush could have been worse. I don't know if it's possible to sit down. I guess, no, I stand corrected. If he nuked a random country, yeah, he could have been worse. Yeah, he could have been worse if he also added a war with Iran, which, by the way, they were trying to do. He could have been worse if they were trying to nuke North Korea, if they started another war with North Korea. That's how he could have been worse. But outside of that, he's as bad as it gets. It doesn't get any worse. He's literally one of the worst presidents in U.S. history. Deregulation all over the place, the collapse of the middle class, and now it's not that he has a 51% approval rating overall. He has a 51% approval rating among Democrats. Why? He said some words against Trump. You guys do know it's an option to dislike Trump and George W. Bush? Just to let you know. That's a thing. In fact, that's my position. I dislike them both because of the policies they push for and how bad they are. I dislike them both. I dislike them both. You do know that's an option, right? And you do know that just because one war criminal says another war criminal is bad, that doesn't mean the other war criminal is good. That's like Charles Manson says some shit against Gacy or whatever the other name of the serial killer was. And everybody's like, up to Charles Manson. Charles Manson, welcome to the resistance. No, 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 no. But the reason why this is so upsetting to me is because it shows me that half of the Democratic Party are just hopelessly partisan hacks. That's what that shows me. That's exactly what this proves. It doesn't just show me it, it proves it. Because what they're saying is policy irrelevant. Because if they cared about policy, of course they wouldn't have a fucking favorable opinion of George W. Bush. Policy irrelevant. It's all about teams. And now George W. Bush is no longer on the red team. He's on the blue team because he's saying things against the red team leader, President Trump. Well, if that's how you view politics, politics ain't for you. Politics is above your fucking intellectual capacity. Because this is about people's lives and how their lives are affected by decisions that are made and policies that are implemented. And if you can't keep your eye on the ball for that, that's embarrassing, it's pathetic, it's disgusting, and it's shameful.